Hey guys, it's Layla from Ignite, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through thesis statement writing for human experience using the example of Stephen Daldry's Billy Elliot. So if you're studying the HSC, note that the first half of this module is relevant to anyone doing either the standard or the advanced English courses because that's the common module. The second half of the video, I'll be applying my advice on how to best craft a thesis statement to the specific text of Stephen Daldry's Billy Elliot. So the first half of this video is relevant to really anyone doing the HSC, whilst the second half is specifically relevant to those who are studying Billy Elliot. So the best way to unpack how to write a thesis statement is to do so with reference to a practice question. So let's take a look at this one together. The question reads, challenges are inherent to the human experience. To what extent does this statement reflect your understanding of whatever your prescribed text is? So the focus in writing the thesis statement is obviously going to depend on the statement, which is the first part here of the question. Now, if you've watched other videos, these are my 3 specific steps in crafting a thesis. And the first step is to identify the keywords in the question. The second step is to unpack those keywords and to define them in a way that works for the direction that you want to take the essay in. And I'll talk about the importance of foresight in that second step. And finally, to connect the keywords in the question. So, step 1, identifying those keywords. So if I look at this question, the keywords here that are going to really determine the direction of my essay are challenges, inherent, and the human experience. However, once you've identified those key steps, it's really imperative that you don't just stop there. You don't just want to restate the question. A student who's looking for maybe a band 5 or I'd say a low band 5 to a most likely band 4 response would do something like just restating the question. But it's not enough really to just stop there. You need to take your response further and critically unpack the key parts of the question. So, to unpack and to avoid simply restating what the question has already posed, I suggest that you apply some micro questions to the keywords in the question. And what I mean by that is terms such as what, why, how, to what extent, or the broader relevance of these key terms in light of the module that you're studying. And by doing that, by applying the applicable word to the key part of the question, you're asking yourself a little bit more critically, what is this question really asking me? And how does this question specifically relate to the text that I'm studying? This will make more sense in the coming slides as I apply these questions to the question that we've been given. So when you're in the exam and you look at the question, you don't just panic and quickly write out the first line of your essay without actually stopping to think about what the question is posing. You need to stop, think about those micro questions and apply which ones are relevant to those highlighted parts of the question that you would have identified when you're going through step 1, which is the identify step. So when I can look at these keywords, these are the words that, or the micro questions that I would apply to them to unpack them. When I look at challenges, I wouldn't just state in my thesis, this text explores the challenges of human experience. I'd ask myself specifically, well, what are the challenges that are presented in this text? And through doing that, you're immediately distinguishing yourself from those other students because you've actually stopped to consider, well, what are the challenges and how do they actually unfold in the text that I'm studying? So by answering that what question within your thesis, not only are you dealing with the question explicitly, but you're actually going further in analysing what the question is asking of you. We're looking at inherent. For something to be inherent means that it's within that concept. It's contained within the human experience. So you might like to consider here, why are those challenges inherent within the human experience? What makes human experience inevitably give rise to such challenges in relation to your prescribed text? And then when we take a look at the human experience, consider what is the human experience that your text is specifically focalizing? What aspect of the human experience, or more broadly, what does the human experience actually offer the individual? And when you think about that, what's the actual end goal that unfolds through your text? What are the characters able to achieve by the end of the text? you'll note that that possibility, most likely, of human growth or of an individual finding themselves or building new relationships, which is often what the possibilities entailed within human experience include, those opportunities aren't often unlocked without challenges being met. Which leads me to my next point, which is step 3, where you connect the key terms within the question. And this is where you ask yourself, okay, I've asked myself what challenges are presented, what the human experience actually entails, and now I'm trying to consider what's the connection between that challenge and the human experience. And that's where you find that without encountering challenge, one cannot fully realize the opportunities that are entailed within human experience. So there's this inextricable connection or nexus, if you like, between opportunity in human experience for growth or to strengthen one's relationship or to build a greater sense of who they are, and the need to actually confront challenges. So that discussion of human experience, what it entails, that was a bit of a broad approach to how you would deal with that kind of question and develop a thesis. So the key points there that you ought to take away is, number 1, make sure you're identifying the key words in the question, but of course you don't stop there. You need to think about what are the micro questions I can apply, how can I unpack this question further to show my marker that I've critically analysed what the question is asking of me and I've reflected on the specific text that I'm studying. Okay, now anyone can continue to watch the video from here as I'm going to specifically consider this question in light of Billy Elliot. So let's take a look at how you would answer the question that I posed if you were studying Billy Elliot. So, jumping to step 2, we've already identified the key words. In terms of challenges, when you're asking yourself what challenges are presented in the text, think about them. These challenges center on Billy Elliot, and they're interpersonal challenges as he attempts to reconcile his desires, his want to become a dancer, his filial obligations, and how they are at times in conflict with those interpersonal wants. And furthermore, how the political context poses an additional challenge, how his father is challenged in terms of wanting to accept his son's journey. So there's a multiplicity of challenges that take place within the text. So you can think about when looking at this question, okay, what challenge am I specifically focusing on within my response? And make sure you pinpoint that in your thesis so that you're critically engaging with the question. When we think about inherent, well, this is where you have to take into account that term inherent alongside human experience. Ultimately, where does the text leave us at the end? We see that Billy has fulfilled his dream, his desire to become a dancer. He has challenged the gendered expectations of his time. He's grown to strengthen his relationship with his father, who comes to accept his alternate path in terms of gendered expectations by the end of the film. So all of these opportunities in terms of growth within oneself, one's strengthened understanding of their path in life, in addition to their relationships within their family, these are all the potentials of human experience provoked within the text. But in order to achieve them, challenge had to have been met. And that's why challenges in the case of Daldry's text are inherent within the human experience, that experience being the individual's possibility of growth. So that's the causal connection between why challenge is inherent within human experience in specific relation to Daldry's text. So, having looked at the question, having discussed how to unpack the key terms, I'm now going to show you an exemplar, so an example thesis statement that's answering this question using Billy Elliot. All right, let's have a read. The challenge of defining one's sense of identity and learning acceptance are inherent to unlocking the opportunity for growth within human experience. Such is revealed in Stephen Daldry's 2000 film Billy Elliot, wherein the protagonist and the challenges with which he is faced are underpinned by a search for self and acceptance. So you can see here this thesis has been broken into 2 sentences. The first sentence takes a broader conceptual approach in creating that connection between challenge and why it's inherent to the human experience, whilst the second sentence specifically applies your reasoning in terms of the concepts within the first sentence to Billy Elliot specifically. So, as opposed to simply saying the text presents challenge, we've said the text presents the challenge of and states the answering to the what question of what challenge. The first sentence then unpacks what the challenge actually is of defining one's sense of identity and learning acceptance as inherent to unlocking the opportunity for growth within human experience. So the latter part of that sentence there is unpacking what human experience actually offers the individual and why that challenge is central to it. Then we've specifically stated that this is revealed in the film Billy Elliot, wherein the protagonist and the challenges with which he is faced are underpinned by a search for self and acceptance. He's yearning these concepts of self and acceptance, and that's why the challenges are inherent within his human experience of the world. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video. And in terms of writing your thesis statements, make sure you don't forget those crucial steps of identifying the key words, unpacking them with foresight, thinking about how the direction of your essay will need to follow through and justify what you critically unpack within your thesis. And then, of course, in the third step, connecting those key words. If you have any questions, please do comment and we'll do our best to get back to you. But for now, subscribe to the channel if you do like this content and click the bell if you'd like some notifications whenever we post. But thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, subscribe to our channel and we'll have more videos coming your way.
That's right, guys. Thanks for watching. And please make sure you check out our online resource database. We've had a team of state rank achievers and heads of English put these together for you, covering everything from essay structures and examples all the way through to craft of writing and comprehension skills. So check them out at ignitehse.com.au and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.